Every morning he woke to the same life. Same job, same routine, same quiet ache in his chest. He told himself he'd change, start that business, chase that dream, become the man he saw in his mind. But every day, he stayed put. Not because he lacked vision, but because he was afraid. Fear held the key to his cage. Fear of failure, of judgment, of losing what little he had. This is his story, our story. A story of fear, risk, and the fight to break free. Because the truth is, staying caged is far more dangerous than stepping into the unknown. Let's walk this path together and see what it takes to live uncaged. Act 1. The cage of comfort. He called it a life, but it was a cage. A job that paid the bills but drained his soul. A routine that felt secure but chained him to mediocrity. He wasn't alone. Most of us live this way, trapped by the illusion of safety. We wake up, go through the motions, and tell ourselves, one day, I'll change. But one day never comes. Why? Because fear whispers that the devil we know is better than the one we don't. Fear says, stay comfortable, don't rock the boat. But comfort is a lie. It's a slow poison. Stay in a job that makes you miserable, and in 5 years, you'll be older, more resentful, and further from who you could be. The clock is ticking, and time doesn't care about your excuses. Life is risk. From the moment you're born, every choice, love, work, dreams, carries uncertainty. If you avoid risk, you avoid living. The first step to breaking free is to see the cage for what it is. Not a shield, but a prison. Practical step, the mirror of truth. Pause today. Stand in front of a mirror. Ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? Don't dodge the question. Maybe it's quitting your job to start a business, writing a book, or moving to a new city. Write down the answer. That's your truth. Now ask, what's one small step I can take toward it? It could be researching a business idea, drafting a chapter, or booking a ticket. Take that step within 24 hours. Fear will scream, but action silences it. This is where you begin to bend the bars of your cage. Insight. Psychologists call this approach motivation, moving toward a goal despite fear. Studies show that facing small, calculated risks builds resilience and rewires your brain to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. The cage weakens when you act. Act 2. Pain as the forge. He wasn't fearless. No one is. But he learned a secret. Pain is a teacher, not a tyrant. Every failure, every rejection, every night he lay awake doubting himself, it wasn't breaking him. It was forging him. Pain is the fire that shapes who you become. Most people run from it, numbing themselves with distractions, scrolling, binge-watching, settling. But pain is a signal. It points to what matters. It's the raw material of growth. He thought back to a time he lost everything. A job, a relationship, his confidence. It hurt like hell, but it taught him he could survive. That pain became fuel. It drove him to the gym, to the library, to the desk, where he sketched his first business plan. Pain showed him he was tougher than he thought. You have pain like that too. A betrayal, a dream that crashed, a moment you felt small. Don't bury it. Mine it. Let it push you to act where others quit. That's how you forge a life worth living. Practical step. The pain inventory. Take 10 minutes. Write down 3 painful moments from your past. A failure, a loss, a regret. For each ask, what did this teach me? Maybe a breakup taught you to value yourself. Maybe a missed opportunity showed you the cost of hesitation. Now, pick one lesson and tie it to an action. If a failure taught you resilience, commit to one hard task this week, like pitching an idea or training for a goal. Let pain be your fuel, not your anchor. Act on it today. Insight. Neuroscience backs this. The brain's amygdala processes pain and fear, but repeated exposure to discomfort via action reduces its grip. activating the prefrontal cortex for rational decision-making. Pain, when faced, builds mental toughness. This is the forge where your strength is made. Act 3. Risk as the key. He stood at the edge of his cage, key in hand. The key was risk. Not reckless gambles, but deliberate choices to step into the unknown. He'd spent years avoiding it, clinging to the safe path, a steady paycheck, a predictable life. But safety was a trap. It promised security, but delivered regret. He saw it in others, men and women at 60, 70, 80, haunted by the dreams they never chased. Their eyes told him, the biggest risk is not risking at all. Risk isn't just jumping blindly. It's calculated courage. He researched his business idea for months, saved a small safety net, then quit his job. He moved to a new city with no guarantees, just a plan and a fire in his gut. Did it always work? No. He failed, lost money, faced rejection. But each risk taught him something. Each step made the cage smaller. Life rewards those who dare. Stay still, and you're already losing. Leap, and you might just fly. Practical step. The risk ledger. Imagine you're 80, looking back. What would you regret not trying? Starting a company? Asking someone out? Traveling the world? Write it down. Now, list one risk you can take this month to move toward it. Something that scares you, but feels possible. Maybe it's launching a website, confessing a truth, or investing in a course. Break it into steps. Take the first one this week. Risk is the key, but you have to turn it. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They never come. Insight. Behavioral economics shows that humans are loss averse, fearing losses more than valuing gains. But studies, for example, Kahneman and Tversky, 1979, suggest that long-term regret stems more from inaction than failed attempts. Risk, even if it leads to failure, builds a narrative of courage, not stagnation. Act 4. The solitary path. The path out of the cage was lonely. He wanted support, friends to cheer, family to understand, but often they didn't. They called him foolish, told him to be realistic, to stick with what was safe. Their doubts stung, but he learned a hard truth. Your dream is yours alone. No one else has to believe in it. Not your parents, not your partner, not the world. You are the first believer, the only one who needs to be. He stopped waiting for permission. He started small, a blog post, a rough video, a prototype. No one noticed at first. The silence was heavy, but each step built momentum. He found others on the same path, creators, risk-takers, dreamers, who saw what he saw. They weren't his crutches, they were his allies. The greatest creators in history, writers, inventors, revolutionaries, walked alone before the world caught up. Your vision is enough. Start where you stand, even if you stand alone. Practical step. The solitary oath. Picture the person you want to become: confident, purposeful, living your dream. Write a letter to that future self, promising one action this week that moves you closer, no matter who doubts you. Maybe it's posting your first piece of content, sketching a business plan, or practicing a skill. Do it quietly, for you. Share it with no one if you must. Your commitment is to yourself, not the crowd. This oath is your anchor when the path feels empty. Insight. Social psychology highlights the crab bucket effect. People often pull down those who strive for more, out of fear or envy. But self-efficacy, Bandura, 1977, shows that internal belief drives action more than external validation. Your solitary path builds unshakable confidence. Act 5. The grind of greatness. He was almost free, but the cage's final lock was the hardest. Greatness. Not fame or riches, but the highest expression of himself. He wanted to be bulletproof. In his work, his relationships, his soul. That didn't come cheap. It demanded grind. Long nights revising plans, early mornings training his body, endless days facing rejection. Each step hurt, but each step shaped him. He wasn't just building a business or a dream. He was building himself. Greatness isn't a gift, it's a forge. Look at the legends. J.K. Rowling, rejected 12 times before Harry Potter. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school team, yet relentless. They didn't dodge pain, they embraced it. They knew that struggle carves character, that failure is the raw material of success. The man learned this too. Every no, every setback was a chisel, sculpting him into the person he saw in his mind. The grind was his promise to that future self. I won't quit until I'm you. Practical step, the greatness pact. Choose one dream you're chasing. A career, a skill, a legacy. Break it into one hard, specific goal for the next 30 days. Maybe it's filming 10 videos, running 5 miles daily, or coding a prototype. Now, commit to one daily action that pushes you toward it, even when it hurts. Track your progress in a journal. When you falter, remind yourself, this pain is making me. Greatness is earned. One brutal step at a time. Keep going. Insight. The Deliberate Practice Framework, Erickson, 1993, shows that mastery requires consistent, uncomfortable effort over time. Top performers don't avoid struggle, they seek it, knowing it builds expertise and resilience. Your grind is your legacy. The Uncaged Life. He broke the cage, not because he was fearless, but because he acted despite fear. He used his pain, risked everything, walked alone, and ground through the fire. He wasn't perfect. He failed, stumbled, doubted, but he kept going. Now, he lives uncaged, not just for himself, but for those he inspires. His beacon lights the way for others to break free. This is your story too. You're not here to sleepwalk through a safe, small life. You're here to risk, to hurt, to build something extraordinary. The cage of fear is real, but so is your power to shatter it. Start today. Face one fear, take one risk, make one promise to your future self. Share your first step in the comments, whatever you're chasing. Let it be known. Subscribe to join this journey, where we choose creation over comfort, freedom over fear. The cage is cracking. Step through.